Good evening, everyone, or good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world joining us this evening. My name is Reverend Kelly Isla, and I'm really honored and humbled to just introduce you to this event this evening. We are going to watch a video of a play written by Gretchen Ike, Wave Gretchen, and we'll hear more from Gretchen later. But it's a story about it's from Silence Turkey, so it's about the story of Meryl and Mesut Kacmaz. So I won't say more about that yet, but it's for supporting advocates of Silence Turkey. So Advocates of Silence Turkey is, if you're not familiar with who they are a nonprofit organization that is all about human rights advocacy, all about addressing human rights violations in Turkey, civil rights, political, economic, social, cultural, any human right. So defending human rights, defending civil rights, and to prevent genocide, to prevent crime against humanity. There's been, since 2016, thousands and thousands have been detained in prisons and tortured and disappeared and so much more violence and brutality and rights being violated. And so Advocates of Silence Turkey, you can go to silenceturkey.org to find out more. And there are a myriad of ways that we can each support Advocates of Silence Turkey. And there you can find out, right in the main navigation says take action. And then there's a long list of ways that you can be involved. So I want to start with that. And now I want to talk about the play. This play tonight, you're going to see a video, so it's not a live play, but it was a play that was everybody in it, and Carrie especially. There was just, actually, I don't even know if especially, but a lot of work. A heart went into it. You can tell every person involved, on screen and behind the scenes, is absolutely committed to giving a voice to the voiceless. So the play is based on a true story of a Muslim Turkish family, and they are here with us tonight. It is Meryl and Mesut Kacmaz, and it's written by, as I said earlier, Gretchen Ike. And this family, they taught around the world as part of their charitable work and as their vocation. This was their calling. They're teaching in Pakistan when the story opens, when it begins, and being followed and ultimately arrested and deported to Turkey by the Pakistani military. They were separated from their children. They have 2 teenage daughters. They were facing disapproval from their extended family because of the claims the government made that they were terrorists, not teachers. The wife is sent to prison, where she learns the experiences of women like her arrested as part of the Erdogan government crackdown on its critics. At the time of her trial, she happens to meet the judge in the hallway and to tell him that she's a teacher, not a terrorist, and to please listen to her. And will she be found guilty of terrorism, or will she remain in prison, or will she be released? And if she's released, how will she and her husband and her family live without employment and live under the suspicious, overreaching eye of the government that maligns them, that put them in prison? The situation they face is not uncommon for Turkish people who are part of Hizmet. And Hizmet is a word that means service. So people that are part of the Hizmet peace movement that have tried to do the work, and other people in other world religions to help people around the world suffering from natural disasters, suffering from human rights abuses. So this is this play is about one family, and represents many thousands of people who are being punished because they're in service to world peace. They're in service to wanting to make a difference. So the play will probably generate some questions for you. Please write them down. After the play, we will talk with the family, Meryl and Mesut. We will talk with Gretchen, the woman who wrote the play. There's several actors and actresses throughout, and I think that's all I'll say. for now. So let me get this going here. Make sure we got it up. Make yourself comfortable.
Is the setting for scene 1. It is 2017. A Turkish family lives there. The mother, Seyfam, the father, ZELLE, are both teachers, and they have 2 teenage daughters, Amila, the older, and Aisha, the younger. Seyfam and her daughters are setting the table for dinner, and the radio is playing Turkish music softly in the background, and Aisha are preparing a meal when suddenly ZELLE rushes into the apartment, obviously upset and out of breath.
Quickly gather your passports, a change of clothes. Get your jewelry and our money. A unit of the army of Pakistan is coming. I saw them entering the apartment of a friend as I was walking home. I'm certain they will be here soon. We must try to flee now.
But we're not in Turkey. This is Pakistan, where we have been teaching for 2 years. Why would they come for us here?
Because we belong to the Hizmet movement. They began this morning closing all Hizmet schools in this area. President of Turkey has asked them to expel all of us, all the Turks who are part of this movement. Pakistan's government has agreed to do as he asks.
Looky there.
The police are here.
What's going on over there?
They're next door.
I know. It scares me. I hope they don't come over here.
Oh, should we hide or what?
I don't know. Let's just keep an eye out and see what's going on.
Okay, I'll be kind of hunkered down by the window and see. But I don't know. I sure hope they don't come over here.
Me too.
Don't let them see you, whatever you do.
Okay.
Get way down. And, oh no, now what are they doing? There's more police coming. Oh boy, I'm really scared.
Yeah.
Well, we just have to hope and pray that they don't come over here. And hopefully they'll leave them alone also.
Right.
I don't know. What's this coming to? Ugh.
Amila and Aisha, the daughters, are crying as they gather possessions into pillowcases to stuff into 4 roller bags their father pulled from the closet. They seem to know what to do.
No time for tears now, daughters. We must be as wise as serpents and as fast as gazelles to escape their dragnet.
She wraps the pot with their supper in newspaper and places it with 4 forks in her backpack. She takes her gold jewelry that is in a carved wooden box and pushes it into the pillowcase. Suddenly, the sound of pounding on the door and calls to open up. Then 4 soldiers with assault rifles enter the apartment.
Open this door right now. Open, I command you to open this door right now.
I arrest you in the name of the government of Pakistan. Anything you say from this point on can be held against you. Put your hands behind your back.
The soldier walks to Saladin and wrist cuffs him while his partner does the same to Seyfam.
Sirs, there must be some mistake. We are missionaries here. We're teaching math, science to children in this urban neighborhood. We have done nothing wrong.
The soldier walks to Seyfam and hits her across the back, pulling loose the scarf covering her hair, which she cannot affix because her hands are cuffed behind her.
Sir, I am a religious woman. No man outside my family should see my head uncovered. Surely you have a wife, a mother. Surely you understand. Please let me cover properly.
Seyfam struggles to replace her scarf, but cannot as her wrists are shackled. Her daughters are crying, and her husband looks distraught, but can do nothing.
Terrorists are not religious. Terrorists work against the will of Allah. Take them.
The soldier doing most of the speaking directs the other soldiers to seize the daughters. They run and hide.
Sir, where are you taking us?
To prison.
The daughters re-enter and try to pull their parents away from the soldiers. The soldiers hit and spit upon the girls.
Will you tell us, please, what have we done that you carry us to prison?
Traitors to the state have operated a school that teaches propaganda to children of Pakistan. Saifam, in particular, is named here as a terrorist taking advantage of the goodwill of Pakistan to shape children's minds, to question the government's policies, and to believe in international cooperation by Muslim people across the world.
Search this apartment. Search our school. You will not find any weapons here. We are not terrorists. We work for peace.
Take her first.
Where? Can I call a friend to come take care of my girls?
No, the government of Pakistan will take care of them.
Girls, do not be afraid. Allah will not abandon us. We will see each other again. I promise you, we will see each other again.
The girls and their friends speak to Shefam in Spanish to let their mother know they will be safe and for their mother not to worry. The girls have been learning Spanish with their mother and know the guards will not understand what they are saying.
What am I going to do? Allah, I need you more than ever. Please take care of my girls, inshallah.
Mamá, va a estar bien, vamos a estar bien, no te preocupes. Necesitamos escondernos. Sí. Okay.
Scene 2. It is 6 months later. The family was flown out of Pakistan the day after their arrest and imprisoned in Turkey. Their daughters are with relatives. Most of their relatives, however, knowing that they were accused of being terrorists, are afraid to befriend them. The setting is a prison cell in the closed prison in Ankara, Turkey. Street sounds come through the barred window at the top of the wall. People calling to each other. Cars honking. Saifam and 3 women sit on cots, silent and despairing. There is a sink and a toilet, but nothing else. The women's arms and faces are bruised. Their heads are covered with hijabs or headscarves.
They took my baby away. Oh, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. They took my baby away. I don't know where to look for her even. I don't know where to begin. I'm so distraught.
We should try to understand how they think. They believe we are terrorists because members of Hizmet have set up schools and hospitals in poor communities here in Turkey and around the world. They think only terrorists would leave comfortable jobs and go to work among the poor. They don't know any better.
Maybe they are afraid that if the poor learn skills, reading, math, computers, how to make things, they will want to change the government that has kept them poor. So they think they must crush our schools and hospitals and us.
I taught in the Congo for 8 years, then in Pakistan for 2. I'm no revolutionary, just a conservative Muslim woman who believes the teachings of the Quran to do charitable works. It is why I became a teacher. For this, we are separated from our families and kept here. We have lost everything. People in our families are afraid to speak to us. They fear that they will be thought of as terrorists themselves if they show any sympathy for us. We must trust that Allah is with us, even here.
The guard enters the cell, striding towards Shefam, standing way too close.
Shefam, come with me.
Shefam stands, looks at the other women, seeking to send them courage, and walks to the guard. her foot shackles clattering on the cement floor.
Where are we going? You have interrogated me for months. I cannot help you find terrorists because I know no terrorists.
The guard shackles her hands and feet and leads her out of the cell and down the hall. The clinking of her shackles can be heard fading as she moves away.
I heard that a few people are escaping across the border into Georgia.
I heard that some have reached Canada or the USA.
But we also know of women who were tortured so badly they did not survive.
They took my baby away. Oh, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. They took my baby away. I don't know where to look for her even. I don't know where to begin. I'm so distraught.
Scene 3. Sefam sits outside an Ankara courtroom, waiting to appear before the judge, as two teenage girls pass on the street. There's a small window out to the street behind the bench on which Sefam is seated. She hears women talking as they walk by, and then she stands and calls out, thinking that she recognizes their voices, thinking they must be her children. The judge turns away from Sefam and enters the courtroom. Behind him, she walks awkwardly with her legs, her feet chained together, the guard pulling her along. Time passes after the door shuts, and there is no sound in the hallway. And then the door opens unexpectedly, quickly, and out comes Sefam, and she is rejoicing. She will be followed by the judge, who will tell her why he has decided to release her and will give her some of his own money for her use and the use of her family, as they probably will need to go into exile.
Aisha, Amila, is that you?
She thinks she knows us. How embarrassing.
She might be a thief. Why else would she be coming before the court in chains? Let's get out of here and go get something to eat.
The judge enters the hallway and is headed for the courtroom. He stops and notices Sefam quietly sobbing. He approaches her. He is curious about her condition.
Are you all right, Mother? Is there something that you need?
20 years I have been a teacher. I've been teaching in Istanbul, the Congo, and Pakistan. 6 months ago, they took me from our apartment in Pakistan and imprisoned me here. I have not seen my family. I have not seen my daughters. I don't know if my children and my husband are alive or dead. Please help me. I am only a teacher, nothing more, only a teacher.
I believe I will see you in my court. Do not despair.
The judge turns and enters the courtroom. The guard assigned to Sefam rushes up, apologizing to the judge for Sefam bothering him.
I am so sorry, Your Honor. I had to use the toilet, so I changed her to this bench. She should not have bothered you. Please forgive me.
All praise be to Allah and to his Prophet Muhammad. All praise be to Allah and to his Prophet Muhammad.
I would not be who I am without my teachers. I cannot treat teachers as terrorists, no matter what President Erdogan says. I know everything has been taken from you, but you will need this to find your family and perhaps to leave Turkey.
Scene 4. It is 2 years later. In a small apartment in Toronto, Canada, the family gathers for a meal. They are all together. The space looks similar to their Pakistan apartment. It is Spartan with few pieces of furniture, and everything is old and worn. The family sit on chairs covered with rugs. A small table with a covered dish is in front of them with kebab and rice. They are refugees. They are asylum seekers now, and Canada, thank God, has taken them in.
Mama, why did we have to leave Turkey and our grandparents and uncles and aunts and friends?
Aisha, you know that half of them weren't speaking to us. They were persuaded that we were terrorists. We should forget about them. They're not worth remembering.
They are still your family, Amila. Don't talk disrespectfully of them. Some of them kept you too safe while your mother and I were in prison. Some wouldn't speak to us, but passed us money to pay for our escape from Turkey. Remember, we had nothing, no money, no mama's gold, no passports or other ID, no jobs, no proof of our university educations.
Do you want to go back, Father?
If Turkey changes, if it's not a police state, then I want very, very much to go back. Go back. It's my home.
I want to be able to teach again. It's what I love to do. I love to help children. But here I have no credentials, no proof that I'm a teacher. It's very lonely. But we are together again and safe, and that is worth all of the loneliness.
I'm sorry. We cannot provide you the life we used to live. We had back in Turkey. You must work at whatever job out there. They won't pay much. Thanks Allah. We have found other families from Turkey around us who are also refugees. That makes a great difference, I guess, in our ability to survive. We are better together with them.
Well, I never want to go back there. I'm quite happy being Canadian, and I am friends with people from lots of different countries here.
I worry that you won't learn the ways of our homeland, the language, the behavior, the food. I fear that I will grieve all my life for Turkey, the homeland I love. I fear that you will forget Turkey entirely and become Canadian. One thing I will not let you forget, how to make doner kebab.
We'll never forget that, Mama. Will we, Amila?
Never forget all the people imprisoned in Turkey for their charitable work, for their religion, and their questioning of the government's way of operating.
The babies, hundreds of them, born in prison to women who are political prisoners. This can't be.
Never forget that. We were the lucky ones. We were able to get out of the prison. I pray for that judge every day. That text was about the young man who was in prison with me, the one who was very badly tortured. He died in prison. They say his body couldn't take the torture. May Allah bless his soul.
Why does the government hate us?
Because our leader is a highly educated imam who teaches us that all the world religions have similar core values like peace, charity, caring for the poor, for the orphans, the widows. His followers are Muslims. Like us, they started schools, charity organizations, camps, hospitals around the world to do as he teaches. The president of Turkey hates us because we use our resources and our lives to make the world a better place. We criticize the government of Turkey for its treatment for church, and for President Erdogan, he made us the enemy. What word gets people upset everywhere in the world? I'm a teacher after all.
Terrorists?
Exactly right.
Okay, my so-called Turkish terrorists, it's time to eat. Come on to the table.
As Shefam was being taken out of her prison cell to make her court appearance, one of the prisoners noticed that something dropped from underneath her dress to the floor. The prisoner went to see what it was and discovered it was a letter Shefam had written to Saladin. The prisoner saved that letter, and when she was released from prison, she forwarded the letter to Shefam in Canada.
My dearest Saladin, I know you may never receive this letter, but in these darkest of days of life, I feel I must put to paper my feelings. My love for you, Amila, and Aisha remains steadfast, and the very reason for every breath I take. I pray to Allah for you and the girls' safety, for I fear I may never see you again. Although we are separated by the concrete and steel of this prison, in this darkness your words ring clear in my ears. On the day we professed our marriage vows, you told me that although they may separate us, we are forever together and eternally together. Inshallah, God willing. I sign this letter with my tears. My love.
Everybody breathe. Ooh, that was powerful. Powerful story. So there's a couple questions. We've gotten a couple questions that were online and also just a couple that came into tonight. I was already had on my list, but I want to thank everyone. Before I go to the questions, I want to just let you know that Shafam was played by Carrie O'Rourke. You can wave, Carrie. Salahadin was played by Ayub. Most of us know Ayub, and he's even wearing the hat that he wore when he did the recording. Aisha was played by Molly. I'm not sure if she's here, but Aisha was played by Molly Mitchell. The Pakistani soldier was played by Jude Hunts, and I actually found that challenging to watch because Jude is such a support for AST, and he's such a wonderful man. To see him in that role I found myself a little bit challenged. One of the teenage girls was Bailey Hughes. Gloria Hinshaw played another one of the teenage girls. The judge was Lewis Hinshaw, and Gloria and Lewis Hinshaw also were the neighbors that we saw near the beginning. There were 3 women prisoners that were talking about, I lost my baby and just a little conversation. So one woman prisoner was Anne Sulentrup. You can wave Anne. Another one was Miriam Nofsinger. I'm not sure if Miriam is here. And then Satbir Karkalsa, and I don't see that she's here. So I want to thank all of our everyone that contributed. It was really there she is. There's Miriam. Yep. So I want to thank each of you for that, and I know that Carrie put a lot of work also into the video itself and was narrating throughout. So I want to turn to Meryl and Masood Kacmaz, since it's your story. Just how are you feeling? What was your experience? Where are you at right now? Not physically. How are you how are you doing with watching it?
Actually, remembering those days are really hard for us.
Yeah.
But the point is this, your support made it much easier, because right now I see that people put some empathy and they understand what we went through. And I can imagine how difficult to realize this, to write a script and to cast is also hard, and then to act, and then you work too much for that, and you can't imagine how this support made me feel relieved, because now that was a burden. I was carrying it myself on my shoulders, and now I feel that we are carrying this burden together, because there are many people who understand me and who gives my story value and try to work on it and try to carry this burden with me. Yes, years passed, but I recently I had a facial paralysis. And I most of the time we keep asking why we had to go through this. We lost everything at a time. We lost our family, our job, our home, our jobs, and our even relatives, because many people cannot still approach us due to circumstances. So while we have lost that much, and to see that, your how can I say, I can feel your love and affection during your act, while you were acting. And this meeting, first time I see you, maybe you have seen me first time, but when you heard the story, you try to uh, you try to bring this, you try to act for me, and to be able to show your empathy and to carry my burden with me. So this is really meaningful. I trust me, I felt relieved after watching this presentation and the display. Thank you very much. I'm really grateful all your efforts, and I have no words to be able to express my feelings right now. Thank you very much.
Well, I want to say something. It was an honor, and it was a very emotional experience for me to play the part of you, to put myself in your shoes. I call it walk a mile in your shoes. To walk in your shoes was very humbling for me. And I pray that I did a good job of portraying what happened there in the play. But most importantly, my heart now feels very connected to you and to your heart. And it was very intense for me to play that part and to play that role. And so I look forward to meeting you someday in person, and giving you a big hug.
I would really love to. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You bet.
So one of the other, before I go over to Gretchen, one of the questions that came in, this is for you, Meryl and Missa, is what do you think about the people who are not Turk or Muslim who open their arms for you?
When I worked years in Africa, I worked with multi-religious and multicultural environments. So when I look at the people, I don't look at them from the view of religion or the nationality. A human is for me a human. So when I see a goodness, I feel it is a human. And when I see anything negative, I see this is the human. I mean, so I never judge people according to when they do good or when they do wrong according to their religions, because this is something else. And the all religion from every religion or from every national, there are good and there are bad. We can't say that totally there is nothing black and white. No religion is black, no religion is white. So I think it was a mis explanation right now. I mean, the people who have a religion are not black or white. Sometimes they represent it in a positive way, good way, or sometimes in a wrong way. And sometimes the people who are without religion can be also perfect. So when people make any mistake, I consider it is their human part. And when they do anything good, it is their heart again. So when, for example, right now, I think we are from different religions. But I didn't see while I was watching what religion are they from. I have seen that brilliant, wonderful, good-hearted, and then devoted people to the humanity are giving their time and efforts and producing something amazing to be able to be a voice for the voiceless. That was wonderful for me watching this. So once more time, whatever religion are you, it doesn't matter for me. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Masood, anything you want to add?
Yeah, similar thing actually. Miss Maris is speaking on behalf of us, Kacmaz family. I want to say the same thing. We are not interested in the religion, culture, language, ethnic, or other things. You know, the humanity comes before the religion that we have to respect, we have to understand. Actually, this is a main, basic issue and a basic thought of Hizmet movement, that to respect everyone without discrimination, to see everyone as an equal person, to service them. That is all. So yes, the people have opened their arm for us wherever we are right now, and we were welcome really here, and we are very happy, and just we want to serve. That is all.
Well, thank you. Thank you again. There's I've collected a few comments from the chat on YouTube, but I want to go to Gretchen Ike, who is the author. And most people want to know, and there's been several people ask, and even before I saw it, my question too is, what was the inspiration? Like, how did you get inspired to write this?
Well, I've been a part of Advocates for Silence Turkey, and we meet every 2 weeks for an hour. And part of that hour is hearing from people who have had to flee Turkey, who are in refugee camps or who are in Canada or the United States or Germany. It's a very powerful experience. It's to hear people's stories. I worked in Washington, D.C. for 14 years on Capitol Hill on foreign policy issues, especially human rights issues. And I had to then educate Americans outside of DC, all around the country, to these issues that were occurring, human rights abuses occurring in countries that many Americans had no idea where that country was. They knew nothing about it. And I discovered that if I could tell about what was going on in a particular country in terms of human rights abuses through stories, through especially through little dramas that the audience could be involved in, that people could begin to care about places and people who are far away from them and who have many things that are not the same between their cultures. So when I heard this story, I thought, this is the story I must try to write up as a play. And I did. And this has been a really fascinating and emotional experience for me to see how all of the people who've been involved here and the people who are involved in my own congregation, Lorraine Avenue Mennonite Church, are picking up on this story and telling it. And we're going to be doing it in person at the end of March, on the 26th of March. Hopefully we'll have it recorded. But there's something very powerful about when you tell a person's story from their perspective, and when you get to enter that story by playing a part, playing a role, even if it's a role that is the Guard or the Pakistani military, still you're in the story and you don't forget it. And the people watching remember.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things that just want everyone that was helped make this happen. A few things that people have said is this effort is a fabulous way of empathy. Thank you for being the voice for the voiceless. We thank Allah for seeing our friends, the Kacmaz family, to be safe. May Allah help them restore their peace and unite them with their loved ones. Thanks everyone for sincerity. Thank you. This is great. We appreciate your empathy. There are a whole lot of emojis of hands clapping and hearts. A lot of hands clapping and hearts. Your performance is precious, and more and more and more like that. So one of the other questions that came up, and this could be for anybody, really, but the question was, what would you do to not lose hope if this happened to you and your family? What would you do to not lose hope if this happened to you and your family? Carrie, your hand's up. Do you want to?
Yeah, my hand was up for something that you said just a minute before this, actually.
Okay.
You know, we are being the voice for the voiceless or the silenced, right? But what I like to say is we are amplifying the voice because Mrs. Kacmaz, she lived and got to have her voice. And it's because we heard her story that we said, no, this is not right. We cannot let this go untold. And so then we told it again, and we're telling it louder now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if this happened to my family or to someone, you know, someone very close to me, my family, if I had to be separated from my children, it would break my heart, like it did her heart. However, it's the grace of God or the grace of Allah that enables us to have the strength and the courage to face tomorrow. And it's only through grace, I think, that we're able to put one step in front of the other.
Yeah. There's a comment in the chat that says, this is such a brilliant initiative, giving a voice to the voiceless by humanizing their stories. And so it is amplifying the voice. And by amplifying the voices that we can hear is giving voice to the voiceless as well. Yeah.
Because how many people, how many women are in prison right now that aren't able to tell their story? How many men have been separated from their families? You know, how many people have had to swim across the river or cut across the sea to escape?
Yeah.
How many? So many.
Yep. Leave everything behind, leave your family behind, I can't really imagine. So I want to come back to the question to see if anyone else would like to respond to it about, you know, what would you do to not lose hope if this happened to you? If any of our other.
I was not aware of the letter that I before, although we've seen bits and parts of the play as we played our roles, but I had not read or seen that letter. It was a later edition, but that really moved me. And if I were in a similar situation, I believe just the knowledge that there was one person who cared about me, thought about me, wondered about me, that would help me. I think that would help me through such tough moments. And I want to say personally that working with such a wonderful group of people as we have with Advocates of Silence Turkey gives me a strong conviction that there are people who care. I know these people who wrote and acted and produced this play, put together the video, were part of it. They care. That would lift me. That does lift me.
Thank you, Louis.
Okay, so Lou, I just want you to know, and everybody, I want you to know, I wrote that letter spontaneously. After, you know, Ayup and I recorded our parts, and, you know, we did the play once and then we recorded our parts again. And I was just in prayer, trying to really deal with how emotional it was, how intense it was for me to be this woman going to prison and being separated from my children and family. And so I thought, what would be something I would need to do? And I also have talked to some of my students, my English language learner students, about their journeys. And many of them have left Turkey the hard way, you know, not the easy way, of course. And they miss their family. They miss their family desperately. And they've been through such difficult things. I couldn't imagine. And so I prayed about it. And you know, I will take this off because I am Christian. I don't normally wear the hijab. But I'm a Christian woman who played this part. And it was really important for me to get into the role. But I wrote that letter spontaneously, you know, during my prayer to help me process how I would feel. And I just felt, and again, I only just heard the story, you know, I just felt that
I would want my spouse to know in my darkest hour, if I never get to see him or her again, I would want them to know how much I love them and how much I loved my children. And I would not want to leave this earth without leaving that message behind. And so I wrote that letter and I shared it with Ayub, and he said, yeah, to go ahead and put it in. So that's how that letter came about. But it was really because it was so intense to try to put myself in that position of walking that mile in somebody else's shoe. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah.
We did have a request in the chat on YouTube to hear from Ayub. He's like, maybe.
Who is that person? I am speechless. I don't know. It's as Gretchen said, we have this AST advisory board meeting every other week, and it started October of the previous year, so almost 1.5 years. And each Monday, you know, we have this, I think, cliche Monday syndrome, but I think our members don't have that syndrome, as we have a reason to do on Monday evenings. We get together in a meaningful way and see our friends. And I don't feel like personally we are having a formal meeting. It is more friends are meeting with friends to care about other friends in different part of the world. And I just read the comment of Anne. I think she will speak in a while. I will quote her, actually. I just was so touched by that message. A friend of mine told me she just focused on local issues. I don't feel that way. There are no borders on my heart. And I think there's an organization in the US called Heart to Heart International. I think that's how we really feel, heart to heart. And as you know, many people here said, you know, people I think need just, you know, we believe that we have this 5 senses in our lives. I mean, 5 senses, you know, biologically we have these 5 senses. But I always question, does everybody use those senses or have a chance? Like ears, does everyone have someone to listen to them? Or eyes, does everyone have someone to look at to? Or, you know, touching, you know, hugging is an important feeling, but does everyone have that? So we may say we have 5 senses, but I'm not sure if everybody got the chance to use those senses. So I think this message, that's what this message is about. We may not change all, but we want to drop in the ocean. And you don't know what that means in the lives of many people. So really, I feel so blessed to be part of this group. And we have been longtime friends. You know, Gretchen and I went to Turkey together. And yeah, it's been probably 10 or 12 years. Lou and Gloria, we celebrated Thanksgivings together when we didn't have any place to go. And they were the ones who hosted us in their home for many years in a row. Bailey, you know, has been, you know, we met her, it's been more than 2 years now. And she's married to a Turkish guy, actually, who used to be my roommate. And when I get together with her and her parents, it's not just an American, we are really relatives. I feel like we are relatives, like biological relatives. Carrie, you know, talk about her, you know, teaching group, you know, she teaches ESL, but she didn't elaborate that. Everyone needs to know she teaches that class every weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m. US time, which is not easy. You know, it's a dedication. I think it's been going maybe 8-9 months, if not longer. And Miriam and Jim, we were also, I met them in Turkey. You know, and whenever I go to Wichita, Newton area, I always stop by their home and they make coffee, cake, and we have known, I guess, each other for 5 years at least, if not longer. And she cares about all, not just like Turkey or Americans or whatnot. And she is one of the activists, especially last year when we were organizing the Women's March. I thought we wouldn't be able to do it here in KC, but Anne was one of the people who asked, "Oh, why are we not having in KC?" My response: I don't feel confident to, organize. But she took an extra mile to put that event together, and it really, I think, touched the hearts of people. Music and whatnot. But anyway, I thought I was speechless. I think it was more a metaphorical way. I talk a lot again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ayub. Well, I don't see any other questions in the chat. Anything else from anybody to add before we bring our time to a close?
I think Anne had something to say.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm on, am I on mute?
Yep, nope, you're not muted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it has been wonderful working with Advocates for Silence Turkey. I didn't even really know much at all about Turkey before I get involved. So I have met wonderful people and it's been great.
Okay. Thank you, Anne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, again, thank you to all of you for your hard work, and to the Kacmaz family for your story, for allowing the story to be told, and Gretchen for writing it down, and everyone that had a voice in making it so. So I think we are complete for this evening. It's been an honor and a privilege to be with you again, to give a voice for Advocates of Silence Turkey, and I have an intuitive thought based on the comments and how tonight went, that there will be a few more plays coming down the road somewhere, or other creative expressions to tell stories, because they absolutely need to be told. So thank you, and have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Take care of each other, please.
And Kelly, once more,
Peace to all.
Appreciate your effort, your support to highlight human rights violations in Turkey, because thousands of men and the women, including children as well, the babies, unfortunately, they are being arrested and they are being jailed. They are all innocent people, okay? Most of them are educated, highly educated, teachers, professors, from the other sectors as well. And especially just last week, I want to mention the students were cadet college students once more sentenced for the whole year or whole life jail, unfortunately, even though the Court of Cassation has broken the order to send to the first court, but they have sentenced again. It is very, very painful. And every day we are getting different painful news from Turkey. So I hope it is supposed to be finished. So this is not only the Kacmaz family story. This is the all people, not even in Turkey, in entire world. All right. I mean, the innocent people are being so much treated. Unfortunately, there is a war right now in Ukraine. And there is an issue in China is going on, and in Rohingya as well, the Muslims, etc. And we can see such type of problems. And I hope, I pray, and this, persecution is going to finish as soon as possible. And may God help everyone who are under trouble, such type of, issues. And thank you so much again.
Thank you. Wonderful note to end our evening on. Thank you, all of you. May peace be with you.
Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.